everybody, and welcome back to another edition of the train station. I know it's been a while since I've been here, 2 months since my last video was posted, but I've been very busy with family stuff and just other things going on in my life, so I haven't really had time, but I also haven't really had any ideas. But I finally have some ideas. There's things I'm working on. The video today is going to be part 1 of a part 9 series. You'll understand why when I get into it. And other videos are on the lookout. I'm working on creating something with my friend Caleb. He's going to jump back on the show and we are going to be discussing some things. That's going to be coming very soon. I also want to start a new series on the channel. That will also be released this weekend. After part 1 of this, I will, get the details ironed out for that as well. So it's just a matter of getting ideas, ironing out the details and all of that. But yeah, it's good to be back. Finally have some ideas floating around in my head, so I figured why not talk about them and get them out there. Football season is right around the corner, which is the greatest time of year, no matter what anybody says. Weather aside, by far the greatest season in the world. So today, for part 1 of this episode, we are going to be looking at each conference, each division in the conference for the NFL, and then the final part will be when I discuss, based off the things in the video, I give my playoff predictions, my Super Bowl champion, etc., etc. So today, we're starting very simple, very easy. We're going with the NFC North since I am a Lions fan and I support the Lions. It's easiest to talk about them first and then go from the rest of the divisions after this. This is why I said it'll be a multi-part video. I'm going to talk about each division specifically. I'm going to start with the North, and then we're going to go all the way through the NFC, and then we're going to go to the AFC, and then when I'm done with the AFC, like I said, I will be doing Super Bowl predictions, playoff predictions, etc., etc. So let's start with the NFC North, shall we? What a shakeup it's been this year for the NFC North. Aaron Rodgers leaves Green Bay, traded to the New York Jets. I think this is the first year in a long time that the NFC North is wide open. Usually it's pretty much Green Bay's to lose by like week 8, week 9. It's Green Bay's to lose. But with the loss of Aaron Rodgers, it's going to very much depend on what they can accomplish with Jordan Love, who's been sitting behind Aaron Rodgers for a few seasons now. And we just have to see what he brings to the table. So starting with the Packers, like I said, they lost Aaron Rodgers. They have Jordan Love. How good of a season will they have? It's really going to depend because we haven't really seen Jordan Love play. We know Aaron Rodgers cried about not really having weapons, which I feel like the rest of the division outside of maybe the Bears has. And I think just years and years of bad drafting for the Packers will come back to bite them this year. I'm not going to give predictional records yet. I'm just going to give my thoughts and opinions on these teams. So the Packers, it's a big year for them. While they still have lots of talent, they're kind of in the middle. Like, if they're not good enough, do they just blow it up and go full rebuild? Do they end up good enough to make it into the playoffs and potentially make a playoff run once there? Or are they just going to be completely hopelessly lost without Aaron Rodgers? Like I said, a lot of that fault is going to fall on the shoulders of Jordan Love, who we've seen play a little bit. We're not really sure if he's the guy or not, and that's what a lot of this season is going to be finding out for Green Bay, is they're going to be finding out, is Jordan Love that guy or not? Personally, I think this is a talented enough roster to make the playoffs. But again, I think years and years of bad drafting for Green Bay and consistently not getting the most important position, especially in the NFL nowadays, may come back to bite them, and what I'm talking about is the wide receiver position. You need wide receivers, especially in the NFL now, more than ever. And they've been avoiding that in the first round at all costs. I think 2003 or 2002 or 2003 was the last time the Packers brought in a first round wide receiver. Obviously, that should be changing here soon. Christian Watson was drafted in the second round, I believe. Please correct me if I'm wrong on that. So Green Bay, going to be a big year for them. They got a lot in return for Aaron Rodgers, but, with the talented enough roster in a division that is kind of wide open, is the roster good enough? I think it is, and we'll just have to wait and see. Minnesota, a make or break year for the Minnesota Vikings. Kirk Cousins, I believe, is in the final year of his contract. They've already released star running back Dalvin Cook, but they do have Justin Jefferson and great wide receiver Adam Thielen leaves as well. But they do have Justin Jefferson still. I know his contract's going to be coming up, and he's going to be wanting a lot of money. So this is kind of a make or break year for the Vikings. Probably the most talented team in the division, despite losing Adam Thielen and Dalvin Cook. This is still by far and away on paper the most talented team in the division, and it's a make or break year for them because they're kind of in that position where they're not really good. They're in a better shape than the Packers are, but they're in a spot where they're good enough to make the playoffs, but they're not really good enough to make a Super Bowl run, if that makes sense. They have a very, very talented team, but it's really going to depend on, again, the play of Kirk Cousins like it has the last few seasons. Honestly, I think the Vikings are a team in need of a complete rebuild. Blow it up, start over, start trading, your good, talented, aging guys away for draft picks to teams that could use them, like contenders and whatnot. Personally, I think the Vikings aren't going to win the Super Bowl anytime soon, so blow it up, start over, retry it, and while you can, because the rest of the team's also kind of rebuilding, reshaping, and retooling, this would be the perfect time for the Vikings to do just that, to rebuild, reshape, and retool into a complete rebuild along with the Bears and the Lions, who neither are there yet, but they're both improving greatly year to year, which I will talk about in just a moment. And so the Vikings, I personally believe they need to blow it up. But speaking on just the roster they have now, it's good enough to win the division and make the playoffs. I don't think they're good enough to make a deep run into the playoffs, though. So we'll just have to see. Shifting over from the Vikings, we're going to go down to the Lions. If you guys check out my last video 2 months ago, which will be in the comment section or in the description below, you will know my prediction on the Lions, what I think of them. But I'll just run through it really quickly. I think this is a team that is improved, but it's also the Lions. And being a fan of the Lions for the last 26 years of my existence, I know exactly when the pressure gets to the Lions, they tend not to perform. The division is easily the best chance this year for the Lions to finally win the NFC North. Like I said, Green Bay loses Aaron Rodgers. Vikings in need of a rebuild. Bears not quite there yet. The easiest year for the Lions to win it, which means they probably won't. But if you guys watched my video, I have the Lions going 9-8. Pretty standard, pretty average. Goff took a giant step last year, but if you guys watched him in St. Louis/LA the way I did, one giant step for Jared Goff means 3 steps backwards for Jared Goff. So I expect Jared Goff to regress a bit this season and not quite be as good as he was. Jamison Williams also suspended the first 6 games of the year. That's a huge speedster on the offense that they're missing, but they do have enough talent on the receiving with Amon-Ra St. Brown and all those guys to be okay. They also got First round rookie Jahmyr Gibbs, who is expected to play a big role after the DeAndre Swift trade to the Eagles. He's expected to play a big role, maybe even in the receiving game, while Jameson Williams serves the suspension. They get rid of TJ Hawkinson last year to the Vikings. So they get rid of one, they draft another Iowa tight end. You know how that is. Again, you guys can check my recent videos to see my thoughts and opinions on the Lions. And lastly, before I get into the records, we're going to talk about the Chicago Bears. Justin Fields is a absolute baller. I say that as a Michigan fan, a Lions fan. I hate this man, but this man is a true baller. Absolutely going to be the quarterback of the future for the Bears. They finally got it right after misfiring with Mitchell Trubisky and all those other guys. The Bears, which is weird to say, they finally have a franchise quarterback. This year is much like last year, and it's just continuing to build around Justin Fields and continuing to build him a good team. Justin Fields, last year, you've seen the talent. They did that sort of by going out and they got DJ Moore from the Panthers. You also have Chase Claypool, who you got last year from the Steelers. DJ Moore is going to be a huge addition for the Bears and a step in the right direction. While I don't quite think they'll win as many games as they might be expected to, I think they do take a step up in production. So while the record may look similar to last year, a big step in production for the Bears as they got DJ Moore in a trade with the Panthers for the number 1 overall pick in the draft, along with a whole bunch of other picks. I think they need to continue to work on the O-line. I think the O-line still continuing to be one of the weakest spots for the Bears. But if they can continue to build around Justin Fields, you're really going to have something special with that kid. And I could see a very near Super Bowl run for the Bears as long as they continue down the trajectory that they're going. Now let's get to records. I'm going to start with the Lions because you guys already know 9-8 should be good enough to win the division, especially in a division like this where a lot of the teams are either in need of a rebuild or rebuilding. 9-8, so Lions 9-8, winning the division at 9-8. I got the Vikings finishing second in a very similar position, 9-8 with the Vikings as well, but they finished below the Lions due to tiebreakers and all of that. So they finished with a similar record to the Lions, but they may or may not make the playoffs. I'm gonna have to see how the rest of the division or the rest of the conference shakes out. But as of now, 9-8 for the Vikings, good enough to get them into the playoffs under the Lions as a wild card. Like I said, when I finish the rest of the divisions, we'll have to figure out how all of that works for playoffs and all of that. So 9-8 for the Vikings, finishing third. I have the Green Bay Packers with 7 wins, so I think they go 7-10. Like I said, they still have a really talented roster despite losing Aaron Rodgers, but I don't think that they're going to be good enough to make a playoff run or even be considered for the playoffs. So I think 6 or 7 wins max for the Packer team is fair, considering the talent that they still have, because they still have guys like Aaron Jones and company who could win them enough games to be okay, and they have consistently drafted on the defensive end, on the defensive side of the ball, which will hopefully lead. I mean, they still got Jair Alexander out there in corner as well, so they still have talent there. But 6 or 7 wins max I can see for the Packers. I think losing Aaron Rodgers is going to haunt them more than they think. And then finally, in 4th place, the Bears. Like I said, their record might not be bad. I see 4 to 6 wins max for the Bears. And while the record may not look good, I think this is going to be statistically one of the most improved offenses in the league. And they just have to continue building on the trajectory that they're building at. And I think for the future, they will be really good. They still have all those picks from the Panthers as well. So they just need to continue doing what they're doing. But the Bears finish 4th, Packers finish 3rd, Vikings finish 2nd, and the Lions finally win the North. And that's all I have for you guys today. In the comment section below, let me know what you guys think. Who you guys think wins the North. What you guys think of what I said about the Bears, Packers, Vikings, and Lions. And if you're a fan of one of these teams, I don't mean to offend you. This is just my personal opinion. Anybody who knows me knows that I love crapping on the Lions any chance that I get. So for me to say that the Lions are going to win the division was tough and very, very tough for me. But I think this is the easiest year for them to do it. Do they do it? It's a wait and see, but I think this is the easiest year for them to do it. And the NFL's buying into it, giving them primetime games. So we'll just have to wait and see, but that is my predictions. Again, let me know down in the comment section below what you guys think of my predictions. And I have lots of content planned. Appreciate you guys sticking with me through times where it seems like I wasn't going to be doing a video ever again. Just a lot of ideas going on, and I want to get them out on paper, or in this case, out on, a microphone. So, yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed that video. More content coming this weekend. Like I said, starting a new series. And I have something going on with my friend Caleb in the works. Just ironing out details for that. So with that, I will make sure you guys like, subscribe, follow, all of that. This is Twitch, but I will be changing it to the Kick logo. Make sure you guys follow me on Kick for all my live streaming. Kick.com/theatrain95. YouTube is there, TikTok is there, Discord is there, and Twitter is there. Make sure you give those all a follow as well. I would love to communicate with you guys on a more personal level from those platforms. So yeah, go ahead and give me a follow, a like, a subscribe, all of that fun stuff. And I will catch you guys with part 2 of this, but I will also catch you guys with more stuff coming up in the very near future. Peace.